And good evening. Let's see, agenda review. Anything from the board?
But just two quick things. One is in the correction on item 3 and 4. It's map U01 lot 4, not 40. So you cross out the 0. And then we just need to discuss the September 8th meeting. We realized this afternoon that that's the date of the primary and we have a meeting day. So I would presume those who want to reschedule their meeting.
So then we'll put that as number 9.
It's the state primary. Follow the state.
Anything from the audience? Sorry.
Sure, and just in case we don't talk about all of it, add safety Bartlett Road as informational.
Yeah, it looks like we've got several 13 Bartstead roads here, but yeah, fine. Anything from the audience regarding tonight's agenda? Hearing none. Okay, go ahead. No scheduled appointment tonight. We'll go right into new business. Action item 1 is board consideration of a donation to the Pittsfield Fire Department. And this is in regard to safety harness, chief, is that correct?
It's the spider, I think it's a spider strap.
Oh, the spider strap, I'm sorry. Yeah, so yes, it's, Bologna Dragon had donated money to buy EMS equipment a few years ago, and finally we use that for purchasing the association's interest of spider straps, which is used in the.
So it's actually the association that's doing the purchasing?
Yeah, but it's donated, it's used for the town, wasn't it?
So we need a motion to accept the donation.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion of the donation? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none. You have a spider strap.
Yes.
$100 spider strap. Two. That's undoubtedly something that we need. Okay, item number 2 is also for the fire department, consideration of hiring of 1 per diem member and 2 call members for the department. And I believe there are some questions.
The call member Travis, if I'm pronouncing this right, it says she's been an EMT since September 8th, 2026. How is that possible? He's not. That's you wrote down the wrong year. Well, he wrote it multiple times. You wrote down the wrong year. Okay, and we're still looking for a background check on this one too. Yeah. And then, yeah.
And the local lady is a per diem?
Alexa is, yeah, she lives on Webster Mills.
Yeah.
She's a per diem paramedic. And the other one is taking a brand new kid, like young Rodriguez. Yeah. Well, I'll move to accept the per diem paramedic Alexa, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name, and I'll apologize for that. And I'll just do that one individually first. So,
Moved and seconded. Further discussion on the appointment?
that's
Okay, call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none, Alexa is converted.
Back to Mr. Rodriguez. Have you explained to him what our salary structure was? Because he's asking for more than we're paying. Yes.
And he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll move that we accept as call members both Tristan Rodriguez and is it Michaela? Travis as call members of the fire department with one, well, let's do it individually because I have position to that one. Tristan Rodriguez, I'll move that, just him alone as a call member. Second.
Move that second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none.
And then I'll move to approve conditionally Michaela Travis's until we get the back of the check. We do have a body book, and we just don't have a background check yet. That's the only condition.
Second. I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. There's that. Don't let the background check languish, chief.
No, she would have written down.
Yeah. Good addition.
Okay. That is item 2. Moving to item 3, consideration of the deed of sale for tax map U01, lot 4, which is 13 Barnstead Road.
I'll move that we approve the deed for the sale of that lot.
Second.
Sorry. Is there further discussion of the property of Barnstead Road? All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
We have the deed for you to sign
And
that.
I see by the nodding head back there, we have happy campers in the back of the room. We do.
It looks nice already.
Appreciate the support.
Do we want to bring up? You want to talk about parking? Oh, number 6, okay. Oh, wait.
I'll get to it.
Okay, yeah.
I'll get to it.
I didn't see it.
Relating to 13 Barnstead Road is item number 4, consideration of the property tax lien and sewer abate for that map U1 lot number 4. And in this case, in the amount of $3,900.87.
Set. First.
See, I was waiting for, I thought I just read it. Heard it? I just read it. I didn't move it.
No, I thought. I'll second his motion. Yeah. Can't second it too.
Is there further discussion? Yes, Dan.
Well, weeks ago, I had a memorandum about how we sell properties and all that, make sure everything get paid. How does this slip through the cracks of not getting paid by the auction?
It did get paid. It's just taking it off the tax system because we've collected it through the selectmen's office.
I felt like going beyond.
Yeah, Erica is not allowed to make adjustments to
Okay.
the system without the select board's.
With that.
All right. Anything further? All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And likewise, this is the exact same kind of issue for item 5, which is consideration of an abatement of the property tax and sewer for tax map U4, lot number 30, in the amount of $1,472.96, and that would be physically at 40 Carroll Street.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Well done, gentlemen. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Motion carries. And we don't have anything to sign. Oh, right. For those who may be paying close attention, we've started a new procedure this evening of holding our signing until adjournment so that we can speed the meeting along and also facilitate a bit, I hope, for those that may be watching at home, not to have the big holdup of we shuffling papers around here and signing. So hopefully that goes, they have at least one excited customer.
Thumbs up, over.
All right, item number 6 is consideration of the use of Farmstead Road property for the balloon rally.
So, the Rotary submitted this request in the event that the property wasn't closed before this weekend. So, as it stands for town property right now, we are looking to use it, for a handful of spots for the weekend, but certainly if, it's closed before then, from what is relayed through the club, that BJ had offered a dozen or 15 spots to the Rotary to use for some of folks. So this is more of a catch-all in the event that the closing doesn't happen before this weekend, but I believe the intention for the closings.
And I'm assuming the closing is going to happen before the weekend.
That's the one.
And it is all right with you if the Rotary is
Yeah, absolutely.
parked there?
And they also the offer's been made to the fire department, the police department, they want to park emergency vehicle down there as well. Feel free.
Excellent, thank you, Mr.
Great, yes, thank you very much. So,
With the liability.
Rotary is happy?
As soon as you do the vote, yes.
We have to vote on this?
Yeah, just in case. To allow, just like we do for the other lots.
So moved.
Second, yeah, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Parking at,
The only question I have is, whose liability insurance covers that, if there's anything on there, okay, your liability insurance.
Yeah, so as a Rotarian, I can answer that question for you, that we put that property in on our planner for the weekend. It looks at everything and be approved, so as we do the other properties that we use.
Double check.
good, our motion,
So move.
and you
You do
said,
a motion and second, Dan motion.
Dan
motion.
So it's up to the vote now.
thank you. All those in favor of the motion? No, no one opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Hopefully they don't leave tire tracks in your new grass.
It look better than what it has.
It already does.
Appreciate this.
Okay, item number 7, consideration of street names. Apparently there is a proposal, this is a new,
Yeah, this is off of Concord Hill, Hawkins Village. We had the developer had proposed some road names, which had emergency services communication that would want to review it. They came back with recommendations, one for Abbott's Way and then the other for Maddie's Way. And so that's their recommendation for the ways on it well. For naming.
They'll be going, his application will be presented to the first hearing on the 13th of August to the board.
to the planning. board.
Yeah.
So,
He's got a couple of requests in, yeah. So he needs this approval in order to get there. Help facilitate this is the first one. Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Motion carries.
And the project's gonna be called Hawkins Wood, the development.
Hawkins Wood.
Comedy level.
Wait a minute.
Hawkins Village.
How the fuck is that?
Village.
Do something, I think he's on record and said,
If you look at your agenda, it says Huggins Village.
yeah. I was looking at
And
his
then there are
stuff Bobby sent me,
Then there are 2 other roads within the village.
The village is the overall name.
Right, the village is the development, and then, they have the looping road, which everybody's doing Patty's Way, and then there's a crossroad, which is
I thought that was better in the big roads have it.
Yeah, one's a loop around,
One's like a
one
waterfall,
that
yeah.
bisects it. He originally had put like 4 or 5 different names for the sections, but 911 had recommended, for safety purposes, for the loop around to be one name, and then the cross street in the middle to be another. So,
911 folks are okay with a
Yes.
way, not a street, road,
Correct.
whatever.
yep, that's correct.
Is this a private development, private roads, or are they gonna come before the town eventually and ask us to accept them, or is it starting off as private?
I know talking with the developer, he wants to keep it private record. Who knows? I mean, he's still got to build up to our specs, which he will.
All right. So is that item number 8? Consideration of select board rules and procedures. Is this?
This is what we drafted up, a couple things that prompted this, which is part of the efficiencies and streamlining that you've asked me to take a look at. Most of this is taking what the board already does for the meetings and just putting it on, in a documented procedure. A couple things that were changes is, that submissions for agenda items would have a deadline, which would be the recommendation in here is Thursday at noon for the meeting. Thursday before the meeting, at noon, so that we kind of have a hard deadline to be able to put the packets together and everything, because what happens, as you know, is I'll send the packet to you Friday morning, and then there's usually 3 or 4 versions before we get to
Tuesday.
Yeah, so that would certainly help streamline. And then there's a recommendation on kind of the agenda structure. The biggest change is adding in a consent calendar so that some of our standard things like applications and warrants or minutes and the payroll, things like that could all go under consent initially, and then if any of you as board members wanted to pull those items off, that you could at the start of the meeting, we could have a further discussion, but if it's pretty standard operational stuff, you could vote under one consent vote, like a lot of other boards or committees kind of thing do. So, and then it would be restructuring a little bit, but I think the consent calendar piece would help streamline some efficiencies. So those are kind of the big changes. There's some other stuff in there, just kind of clarifying the public participation, making sure all public comments are directed to the chair, that they're recognized. Again, it's things you're already doing. It's just memorializing that in the procedure. And we can certainly, it's included in the packet for your review and any changes and things. But that's kind of my summary.
Did we have an old rules of procedure, because you said changing, but that was just changes some of the things that we were just used to doing.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. So as far as I know, Tara can clarify, but we haven't had anything like this before.
It's
So it would be
really been this piece of paper, Dan, for years. And I don't think there's any one of us who could tell you why any one of these things occupies the space on the piece of paper that it
Just
does.
comes to be.
It just was a tradition.
Right.
Hopefully and as we get more and more audience is not here in the room to see things for themselves, I think more lockstep procedure is better for that audience that's out there.
Sure.
And may or may not know the genesis of the issue. Anyway, anybody else?
Well, my thought is, I think it's very well written. I've worked this way before. I'm ready to make a motion to approve it. I'll second that motion.
There has been a motion and a second. Is there more discussion of our techniques and procedures? Everybody had a chance to read it. We even got an extra week this month to read it.
Yeah.
So the motion is made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? No one. Motion carries. All right. Thank you.
Sure, thank you guys.
Now, item 9, we added just a few minutes ago regarding the calendar for the 8th of September, which is primary day. And it is also meeting day, so probably behooves us to, well, we can do a couple of things. We can either move our meeting, or we can sit in the, somewhere in the polls and have a meeting. So,
Kind of limit public input that way.
yes, there would.
So do we want to move it to the Monday that week?
That is Labor Day. Labor Day's late this year. Yeah. I don't know if you're want to move it the week before or the week after, but it's a little nicer the 18th.
But,
We're gonna find Tuesdays that month.
Yeah, we just looked at that when you said that.
another 5 Tuesday month,
Yeah,
so
The first is the first Tuesday.
yeah.
When do we stop talking about budgeting?
yeah, I'm flexible.
So the 15th would be the following.
Right,
And then we would meet the
the
22nd.
22nd.
That sounds like a deal.
So we'd meet the 2nd and
So we,
The 3rd and the 4th.
third and the 4th.
Yeah.
Third and, yeah, it's okay with me, huh? Is there a motion?
So moved.
second,
I guess we satisfied the discussion now on that. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Okay, I'm gonna meet the 3rd and 4th Tuesdays of September. All right, is there any other new business to come before us? Hearing none, close new business applications and warrants. There's one timber tax warrant for tax map R9, lot number 2, with the amount $3,513.51.
second, oh, go ahead, Jim, yeah.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right. No other applications or warrants. Close that, move to committee reports.
Mr. St. Laurent and myself and Miss Dora sat with our union, unions, firefighters and the administrative staff, and we had a very cordial, which was, they haven't always been that. And it started off very nicely, and we'll see how we're gonna go from there. And we've got a month for both sides to put their proposals together.
I'm sure it must have been the presence of Mr. Sam.
I'm sure it was, yeah. Well,
And smooth things
of
over.
course, Terry was cheering, because I said, you've got to understand, Terry, this young man brought unions to me. Well, I knew I liked him.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And certainly in the negotiations.
Yeah. Well, you always used to get a while out.
It's sure. Sure. Paul, anything else for me? Anything? Yeah, aren't anything? The only thing that I have, is, from the Conservation Commission, they are working rather quickly on actually, it's a selective cutting on a town lot that is a landlocked piece, but the abutters all around it have a commercial timber harvest going on. And the Conservation Commission is trying to piggyback and get some cutting done on this property to improve its growth for the future. But I think it's all worked out. It
It's
came.
in your next agenda.
Okay. So that was from the biggie from the last meeting. Nothing else to report. So we'll close committee reports. We all have the department reports. Anything need to be discussed there?
I don't see Cody here, but I noticed they've started working on the. Where is he?
He's right there.
Oh, I see you. Sorry.
Yeah, he's.
What I was gonna say was they've already started working on handicappers. He's doing a nice job. Yeah, he's working pretty good on.
I want to say that your reports are well done. And how you're doing reports, like you're really well done. You know, I think the cemetery is looking pretty good for your first. I didn't have to.
And kudos to the guy that was weed whacking stuff on Main Street today. He was not only was he weed whacking, picking up trash too.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. It was good.
Good job.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
You guys all ready, the three of you, for this weekend?
Yes.
You all have my number.
Dakota, any progress on any applicants for your vacancy?
We've had a few resumes come in, but nothing.
Nothing we're ready to move out on?
No, hopefully we keep getting them in, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. This will close department reports, information items. Very important, the school district election is coming up August 4th. A pretty important vote for our community, since this is a second go-round on a teacher's contract. And the start of school is moving quickly too, so I certainly would encourage all of us to get out and cast your vote however you wish it to be, but don't stay home that day.
Chair,
And additionally on that, yeah, the clarification, last meeting we talked about, we had to be there. We've got clarification, the school board's responsible for it, not us. So.
Thank you. Right, item number 2 is the municipal agent audit. I think that's.
yeah, Erica underwent an audit from DMV. We got the report of that back. And she excelled this year, no findings, and they were very happy with how organized and structured everything was. So she continues to do a great job.
Super. And item number 3 is a notice to abutters about the Gilmanton Communications Tower.
Yes, so we received in the mail from the Barnstead Planning Board that there is a yeah, in Gilmington, there's a proposal to have a communications tower, and because we're all voters to that, they sent it. So if anyone's interested in attending the meeting of the planning board, it's on August 6th at the Barnstead Town Hall at 6 p.m.
Barnstead or Gilman?
Is this the tower that's getting put on that top of Great Hill and the end of Wilson Road?
So the notice says they were given notice as an applicant and butter that Harmony Towers Gateway LLC of Charlotte, North Carolina, on behalf of Sherry Giddens on 579 Middle Pond Road, Gilmington, will be submitting to the planning board an application for site plan review for a communications tower.
We get looped in because under state law, telecommunications law, the RSA says that anybody within a 20-mile straight along radius is considered a water, so municipalities, not citizens.
So yeah,
But
it's
physically, the tower is in
Gilmington. The meeting's at Barnstead.
what the meetings are.
So,
I think the applicant's address is just Gilman.
right,
This is
the
fine.
address where the tower is going.
Yeah, Sherry lives in Gilman, she owns that piece of property, Sherry did is.
This is just up the street, basically up the street from me. Yeah.
That
Thank you.
cornfield have hayfield. So.
And that's,
Said,
Yeah, okay.
thank you, Dan.
okay,
Anyone was invited to.
right. Any other information to put out tonight? Hearing none, we'll close that and move to old business. And we do have a couple of items I see that were tabled from the meeting I was absent. So at least those, I guess we ought to deal with. Item number 8 is a consideration of June 23rd, 2026 minutes request.
So Dan had submitted a request regarding those meeting minutes to. I'm just pulling it up here real quick.
Don't we all have those minutes?
Yes, yep, he's looking to add in, I'm sorry, just trying to find exactly on the page. The letter that he submitted alongside the photos of his truck and horse trailer set up to be permanently attached to the meeting minutes as a matter of public record. And then he's requesting that the minutes explicitly record Carol's exact public input statement regarding his unlawful exclusion. And then also asking for the minutes to explicitly name the 4 selectmen who insisted that they had the right to block an elected member and record their exact stated legal justification for doing so.
Yeah.
I think what this comes down to is what version of the minutes gonna be put in there. Not exactly what happened, but having a discussion a couple of weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago.
Is there a methodology for adding it to the minutes after the fact?
Right now, the minutes are draft, based on normal procedures. When we asked our attorney opinions on this, he let me just pull up his actual page. So attorney Serge said that the content of the minutes is decided by the select board as a whole. One member cannot dictate what is or is not included. The board can take these demands into consideration and decide how the final version of the minutes should be documented. So,
So it's a whole board discussion and or vote to what might or might not be there.
correct.
Got it.
That's my interpretation of it.
Well, it's pretty straightforward, I think.
Well, we caution the board though, the lawyer is correct on that aspect of it. If they were just normal minutes, but when somebody presents paperwork, becomes a public document, it has to remain with that meeting, so.
Did the photograph stay here?
I never received them.
So
I don't know who ended up
they
with
would have had to stay submitted to the board administrator to be submitted into the minutes.
They got passed around, so they got dropped off the table,
Right, but
so.
they were removed by the person involved.
You want to do more research on it, you're more than welcome to.
How does the board feel? In order to do more research, I guess we table it again, or is that?
there's a motion.
Or is there some other motion that we want to conflict?
I'll make the motion, we table it until we figure it out. Exactly what we're voting on.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
If I may, just I want to make sure I understand correctly. So the draft minutes from June 23rd, right, that's the date, June 23rd. She was sent this cover your packet to review. The original from last meeting, not this one. So the changes that Dan's asked me for, would be to make those, so. You could certainly change it once, don't know what other research or changes we would need to make. It would be to decide to, if
I don't believe I'm asking for any changes, I'm just asking that the minutes that were the information that was read be part of the minutes into the hour document now. You know, all they have to be is at the end of the packet or document that you only have.
Right, but minutes do not have to be word for word anymore. So,
But I don't believe this is that, so. They're already a public document.
you're asking if it can be put in word by word. That was one of your requests, excuse me, one of your demands, actually.
It was put in on paper, so why would you take what was put on paper and change it around? You can just add it to it like you normally do.
if I just want to put, I wasn't given anything on paper to submit other than your letter that asked for the demands. I don't have a statement from Carol or anything like that.
They're in here. And the letters that were read were put in.
What I,
Our packets?
I don't know if they're still in there, but
No, I don't think they're in this one.
I haven't seen any statement, so that may be the problem, that something got missed in.
Yeah, I mean, if something was left for us to, it would be an add-on to the minutes. But if nothing was left, because she took the pictures back, so we don't have them to put in minutes.
Well, then why don't we table this until we can
Yeah, there's
run the ground where or what is out there.
My question is I thought we've already had this submitted to town attorney, and he reviewed it and came up with a decision on it.
Well, he doesn't make decisions, he makes recommendations.
Correct. But he made the recommendation.
Would you read that again, please?
yes. So, we had taken what Dan submitted in his request and sent it to Attorney Search and asked, based on his request, if I have to put the transcription in or if I keep it as a summary, like the minutes generally are. And he responded back and said the content of the minutes is decided by the select board as a whole, and one member cannot dictate what is or is not included. The board can take these demands into consideration and decide how the final version of the minutes should be documented. But what you clarified, Dan, I'm concerned that I didn't get the attachments of Carol's statement. Because is that, there's like a written statement?
I believe it was.
Okay, then and you're not asking for a word for word transcription of the recording.
No,
It's the written statement. So
He wants that.
I think that's what.
If I'm hearing correctly, again, correct me if I'm wrong, that he wants that statement added to the minutes.
if it was on paper,
Right, which we generally do, but so I guess that's we're just passing the night on that. I never got a written statement. So
We can run that to ground,
then we can include it as the attachment,
I have no
right?
problem with that. Because I asked you after the meeting, did she leave stuff, so I wanted to look at it again.
I didn't have
Right, no,
anything,
we
so
don't have
I
it,
think
so-
that might have slipped through, but if there's a written statement, like anything else, we can include it as an
can include it
attachment.
and attach it, and it
Right.
holds the history.
this right here is a written statement. That should be part of it. That's part
What are you pointing to?
That's the second page of the packet. In regards to, there's 2 pages before the lawyer's review. And all the emails back and forth.
When did you submit that?
All a month ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't at the meeting. You submitted it after the meeting.
No,
Your demands.
that was during the meeting.
Can I see that, please? Can you pass it down? Right. Okay, the way I read this, the very first paragraph, please accept this correspondence as an immediate and formal protest regarding the flagrant statutory violations committed by the 4 other city members of the Board of Selectmen at tonight's June 23rd, 26th meeting. That's past tense. That's not during the meeting. No, the first paragraph, Dan, you put this in after the meeting was adjourned. It's right there in your letter.
That was read in at a different meeting. Look at that page.
We're not seeing any dates on the second page.
That's part of the minute packet. I didn't add anything to it. How could I understand it? I don't have my personal stamp, you?
No, but look at the stamp. Read the stamp, Dan. What's the stamp say?
It doesn't matter, I didn't stamp it.
Okay, the
It's
stamp
part of the
says it was
public
received by the town July 1st. That's
It's part
after
of the
June.
packet document.
No, that's after June 23rd. It was not submitted as part of the minutes.
Come on.
It's not part of the minutes, it was part of the next meeting's prep.
The next one.
Right. It wasn't part of the minutes of that meeting. It has to be submitted at the meeting. If that was given to Fallon the night of June 23rd, I would have no problem putting it in the record. It was submitted July 1st, is when the town received it.
I believe this was read right to the public record. I got handed in at one point.
Or we can go back in the tape and look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's part of my motion.
I think we need to do some more homework. At least it seems to me, now speaking as an Army one. That we need to do some more review of this before we're all gonna be really comfortable with where this is going. So, what is the sense of the board?
Dan does have a motion on the table to table this item.
Is there a second to Dan's motion to table?
I'll second it so we can get to the bottom of this.
Motion is made and seconded. Is there a discussion for now? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Unopposed. Yeah.
2 opposed.
Yeah.
Motion carries 3-2. Item number 9, consideration of selection of an engineering firm for the long-awaited Shaw Road culvert project. And I guess that was tabled on the 14th, the meeting I was absent. So,
Dan, when you review them, did you get a chance to do that? You were gonna review the 5 submittals? That was your request, that's why we tabled it.
I didn't know.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward with the approved Coyle Tanner as the engineering firm. And so they can start the process of bidding the job and submitting second.
motion is made and seconded. Further discussion. When we were speaking earlier, there's like.
There was 3, the state recommends we pick 3 and then they have to submit bids. We don't have to follow that.
No, they come in for interviews, and then you select one from the 3, and then you go forward with a bid.
And out of the 5 firms, 4 of them I've worked with in different projects. And Coyle Tanner is already our engineering director for wastewater, so it just.
Right, Oil Tanner's worked for us on many.
Many projects in town, right?
Okay, so your motion has to do with me cutting to the chase and going right to Oil Tanner.
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Is
We
there
still have to interview them? Okay.
more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Motion carries. All right. Now we're getting more tabling from the 14th. You guys tabled a lot while I was here. Item number 10 is 91A concerns from the select board meeting of what, the 14th or some earlier? The 20, back to the 27th.
The two items are related. The minutes itself were tabled because of the larger conversation of the 91A concern. So they kind of tie together a bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see number item 11 is minutes tabled from June 20th.
Right.
So, but that 10 and 11 are related.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So 8 was the request to add additional information to the minutes. And then 10 was the larger concerns regarding 91A request. And then 11 was the actual item about the approval of the minutes. So those 3 items they're all tied and connected together.
Well, since we have now tabled item 8, it kind of makes it difficult to resolve at least item 11. If not 10. So it seems like further tabling is in order. So
Yeah, I would say at least for number 11. And then 10 was we had gotten feedback from Attorney Surge on, again, general concerns about 91A violations from the earlier meeting in the end of May.
Yeah, searches.
Yeah.
Searches.
Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, so I had asked for Attorney Surge to provide some feedback from his end, the minutes from the meetings and then additional communication. So Attorney Surge said that he can offer some guidance, but if the town wanted to seek advice from the AG's office, we could do so. So what Attorney Surge said is that the issue triggered, and I'll just read it word for word.
please.
RSA 91A RSA 91A:2, Section 3, which provides a public body, and he underlines may but is not required to allow one or more members of the body to participate in a meeting by electronic or other means of communication for the benefit of the public in the governing body, subject to the provisions of this paragraph. He then says the statutory section then goes on to list the various conditions for allowing remote participation by a board member. Because remote participation is not mandated, but rather a discretionary decision by the public body, I do not see anything illegal with the decision to not permit remote attendance during the non-public meeting. Indeed, I question whether this would even be a violation of RSA 91-A, since the law is designed to ensure the public has access to the meetings and records, not that elected officials are able to attend/participate in meetings. We do not need to answer that question. However, since the law leaves it up to the rest of the public body present whether to allow remote participation, and here the board did not vote to allow such participation during the non-public meeting. I understand that there's a claim that the member could not participate in the public portion of the meeting as well, but that appears to be disputed. Regardless, RSA 91A:2, Section 3 does not differentiate between the two forms of meeting.
I think it's important to know that that reply from the attorney was based on the letter that he wants to submit to the meeting. To the minutes.
Okay. Further discussion? I think that the operative term is may, versus will. And if I remember correctly, and anybody who's got a better memory than mine, speak up, but we opted for the public session to include the remote, but not the non-public session, because we couldn't ascertain whether it was actually non-public if it's going out over the airways.
That's what advertising in those pictures. So I think we ought to table that, I'll keep this thing as all one ball.
I don't, I think
What?
this one's been solved by the attorney, and you have the discretion.
Right.
And the pictures to me just showed your camera, we never saw the actual camera, we didn't see how it was set up, pictures could be anything.
Oh, they couldn't. But anyway, what are we deciding on, really? What was said, what was done, or how the minutes are presented?
For this particular item, it's not necessarily one that requires action, it was providing the attorney's response.
So I figure, we're not approving a judgment.
No, we're not. So.
We're just approving the minutes as they are.
Well, the minutes would be separate. This particular item was based on the concerns that you had brought up. And
And
The
we
board-
had a response to those concerns, so that item 10 could be closed.
Yeah.
right, you all had asked that I get input from the town legal counsel on the concerns that Dan brought up, and that's what we did. It basically was the report out of his guidance or feedback.
I have no problem tabling number 11, I think you made the motion, because that ties in with number 8.
Number 8 and 11 are linked together.
So I have no problem tabling that.
I'm fine with that too.
And so is that a motion on the floor
I'll second it, Dan's motion,
to table 8 and 11?
Correct.
It has been moved and seconded. Further discussion from the board? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0 to table item 8 and 11. Now, item 10, which was tabled, but now we have a response.
Right.
And the issue was about that response. And that's the information you got. So item 10 is now moved. Okay. Anyone wish to debate, dispute, or
That was pretty clear.
suggest something else? All right. Then we will move forward. Closing old, any of the other old business items somebody wants to bring up at this time?
I just have a number 1, I have a question, what else do we have outstanding? I know Dustin's, we said we had to send it to our attorney,
We're just waiting on
surgeon's response.
surveyor's response to send off to council.
Okay.
Which one item are you talking about?
So one, is a surveying and town survey.
Oh, that, our walk, that was our big walkthrough.
Right, yeah. But in the notes, we had, that had to be sent out, like, it was just, I think we heard it.
Okay, all right. Anything else relating to old business? Hearing none, we'll close old business, move to accounting.
Don't move. Sounds terrible.
Moving on accounts payable. Is there a second? Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, accounts payable passes 5-0. Payroll.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor of payroll?
Aye.
Aye. Jim, did I hear you? Yes. Motion carries 5-0. And then we come,
So I don't mean to beat a dead horse, it's just the nature
no
of
horse is
it
too
is,
dead
so
to beat.
I think number 1 ties back into the items we already.
Yes, Item 1 is taken care of by table, so we're talking about 14 July minutes.
I move we approve the July 14th public session minutes.
Second. Moved and seconded, is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will be abstaining. So motion carries 4-0 on the public session minutes for 14 July. Non-public session minutes for 14 July.
I'll move we approve the July 14th non-public session. Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain. So the motion carries 4, actually 1 abstention. Okay. Any additional business from the board?
Are you guys ready to talk about schedule? Yep.
Yes, I didn't know at what point we want to do that.
So it'll be a non-public session.
So we have need of a non-public session, okay? We can certainly do that. Any other additional business from the board? None, we'll close that. And public input. Was there anything from the public this evening? Says none, we'll close public input. And so we need to adjourn the public session to go to non-public.
Some we enter into non-public session.
Can I adjourn the first, the public session?
No, adjourn. No, we gotta come back to non-public. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll just dismiss the public.
What's about?
He's coming to that.
Yeah, scheduling is 91A. We talked about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
If you want to add C. I mean, C.
Okay, yeah, let's do C over the other. We'll update everybody on the citizen assistance for
For the television audience, can we get this out loud and clear?
Yeah, so it's 91A for personnel and 91C for
Adversely impact their.
something that could potentially impact their reputation as well as possible legal.
Okay. Is there a second to? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay, we're now, Tim?
Yes.
Oh, Dan, myself, yes, we're non. Thank you, everyone. You're welcome.
Now, all this time, it was off.
Yes. Okay,
No, we've been broadcasting this.
We all set.
yes.
I see the eyes up. So I'll move, we see the minutes from the non-public session.
Any discussion? All those in favor of sealing the minutes?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move adjourned.
Second.